The first quiet habit is brutal in its simplicity. High earners automate at least 25% of gross income into investments before they ever see the money. Ramsey Solutions' 2024 National Study of Millionaires surveyed 10,000 millionaires and found the average savings rate among them was 26% of income, more than triple the U.S. personal savings rate of 4.6%, reported by the Bureau of Economic Analysis in March 2025. Here's why this matters in real dollars. Take a 30-year-old earning $90,000. If she saves the national average of 4.6%, that's $4,140 a year. Compounded at the S&P 500's historical 10.3% return through 2025, she retires at 65 with about $1.1 million. Sounds fine, until you run the same math at a 25% savings rate, $22,500 a year. Same return, same time horizon. She retires with roughly $6.1 million. The trick isn't willpower, it's automation. Vanguard's 2024 How America Saves report showed that participants in plans with auto-escalation hit a 12.7% deferral rate, while opt-in participants stalled at 7.3%. Set the transfer the day your paycheck hits, and your lifestyle adjusts to what's left. Most people get this wrong because they save what's left over after spending. Wealthy people spend what's left over after saving. That single inversion, done for 20 years, is the difference between retiring rich and retiring tired. The second habit sounds boring, and that's exactly why it works. The average American millionaire drives a vehicle that's 11 years old. According to Experian's 2024 Automotive Market Trends report, and confirmed by Dave Ramsey's Millionaire Research, showing the most common car brand among millionaires is Toyota, not BMW. Compare that to the average American who, per Edmunds Q1 2025 data, finances a new car at $48,397 with a monthly payment of $742 over 68 months. That's $50,456 in total payments for a depreciating asset that loses 20% of its value the moment it leaves the lot, per Kelley Blue Book. Now run the wealth math. Take that $742 monthly payment and instead invest it in a low-cost index fund returning 10% annually. After 30 years, that single decision is worth $1.68 million. $1 car payment. That's it. Most people get this wrong because cars are status theater. A 2024 LendingTree survey found 36% of Americans with car loans regret their purchase, and the average loan term hit a record 68 months in early 2025. Wealthy people understand a $50,000 car loan isn't transportation. It's a $1.6 million bet against your future self. The quiet millionaire buys a 3-year-old Camry in cash, drives it for a decade, and quietly funnels the difference into VTSAX while the neighbor's leased BMW depreciates in the driveway. Habit 3 is the investment insight that costs you almost nothing and is worth nearly everything. High earners overwhelmingly default to low-cost broad market index funds and avoid actively managed mutual funds. The data here is overwhelming. The S&P Indices versus Active Scorecard for 2024 showed 88% of large-cap, actively managed U.S. funds underperformed the S&P 500 over the previous 15 years. Over 20 years, that figure climbs to 93%. Meanwhile, the average actively managed mutual fund charges an expense ratio around 0.66%, while Vanguard's VTSAX charges 0.04%, and Fidelity's FZROX charges literally zero. Let's translate that into your retirement. Suppose you invest $500 a month for 35 years. At a 9% net return after the actively managed fund's fees, you end with $1.32 million. At 9.6% net return in a near-zero-fee index fund, you end with $1.62 million. That's a $300,000 fee tax for the privilege of probably losing to the market. Warren Buffett famously bet $1 million in 2007 that an S&P 500 index fund would beat a basket of hedge funds over 10 years. He won by 64 percentage points. Most people get this wrong because they think paying more must mean getting more. In investing, it's the opposite. Every basis point in fees is a basis point that doesn't compound. The wealthy figured this out decades ago and stopped paying fund managers to lose for them. Habit 4 is the behavioral money trap that quietly destroys high incomes. It's called lifestyle creep, and the data on it is genuinely frightening. A 2024 Bank of America Institute study found that households earning over $250,000 a year saw their discretionary spending rise 12% in 2023 alone, while their savings rate stayed flat. Lending Club's 2024 Reality Check report showed 48% of Americans earning over $100,000 still live paycheck to paycheck. Here's the trap. You get a $15,000 raise. Your brain says you earned it, so you upgrade. Bigger apartment, $500. New car payment, $300 more. Subscriptions, dining, vacations, $400. Suddenly your raise is gone and you've permanently anchored your monthly nut $1,200 higher. You didn't get richer. You got more expensive. The wealthy lock down lifestyle the moment income rises. The rule used by financial planners at firms like Fidelity and Schwab is the 50% raise rule. Bank at least half of every pay increase directly into investments before your spending adjusts. If you get a $15,000 raise, $7,500 goes straight to your brokerage on auto-pay. Run the numbers. A professional getting four $10,000 raises over a decade who banks 50% of each adds $20,000 a year to investments by year 10. Compounded at 10% over the next 25 years of their career, that single discipline produces an additional $2.16 million at retirement. Same job, same salary, completely different outcome. Lifestyle creep is invisible because it happens one swipe at a time. Until you're 55, broke, and wondering where it went. Habit 5 is the actionable wealth step with the fastest payoff in personal finance, capturing the full employer 401k match. According to Vanguard's How America Saves 2024 report, the average employer match is 4.5% of salary, yet 31% of workers fail to contribute enough to capture the full match. Financial Engines estimated in 2024 that American workers leave $24 billion in unmatched 401k money on the table every single year. Let's be precise about what that means. If you earn $80,000 and your employer matches up to 4.5%, that's $3,600 a year in free money. Skip it for 30 years, and at 10% returns, you forfeited approximately $592,000. For doing nothing, the match is a 100% instant return. Nothing in finance, not real estate, not crypto, not options trading comes close. Yet the most common excuses are I'll start next year or I need the cash flow now. Both are wealth-destroying decisions disguised as practical ones. The timeline to act is today. Open your benefits portal, set your contribution to at least the full match percentage, and turn on annual auto-escalation by 1%. Vanguard data shows participants with auto-escalation hit average deferral rates above 12% within 5 years. Most people get this wrong because they treat retirement as a future problem. The quiet millionaire treats it as a today problem they already solved on autopilot. Habit 6 is one IRS data point that changed how I think about wealth forever. According to Tom Corley's 5-year study of 233 wealthy individuals, 65% of self-made millionaires had at least 3 streams of income before they hit their first million. The IRS Statistics of Income Division confirms this pattern. Filers with adjusted gross incomes over $1 million report an average of 3.4 distinct income sources on their returns, while the median U.S. household reports 1.1. The streams aren't exotic. The most common combinations among millionaires were W-2 salary, dividend income from a taxable brokerage account, and rental real estate. A smaller cohort added royalties, side business income, or interest from short-term treasuries, which were yielding 4.3% in early 2025 per Treasury Direct. Here's the math nobody runs. A single income stream of $90,000 grows linearly. Add a dividend portfolio yielding 3% on $200,000, that's another $6,000 a year. Add a rental property netting $400 a month after expenses, that's $4,800. Suddenly you're not a $90,000 earner, you're a $100,800 earner with 3 independent failure points. Lose the job, you keep $10,800 incoming. Most people get this wrong because they chase one stream harder, asking for raises, working overtime. The wealthy diversify the source of income itself. Start with a Roth IRA pulling dividend ETFs like SCHD, which has a 30-year dividend growth track record. Then layer. The compounding isn't just financial, it's psychological. Multiple streams change how you sleep. Habit 7 is where high earners pull away from the pack, aggressive legal tax optimization. The IRS's 2024 data showed the top 1% of earners paid an effective federal tax rate of 25.9%, while many high W-2 professionals earning $200,000 to $400,000 paid effective rates above 30% because they didn't structure their finances strategically. The wealthy use three quiet tools. First, the backdoor Roth IRA, which lets earners above the $161,000 single income limit still contribute $7,000 a year to a Roth in 2025. Second, the mega backdoor Roth, allowing up to $46,500 in additional after-tax 401k contributions converted to Roth, available at companies like Microsoft, Google, and Meta. Third, tax loss harvesting, which Wealthfront's 2024 data showed added an average of 1.8% in after-tax returns annually for taxable accounts. Let me put 1.8% in real dollars. On a $500,000 portfolio, that's $9,000 a year recaptured from the IRS legally. Over 20 years compounded, that's $477,000. Health savings accounts are the unsung MVP. Fidelity's 2024 HSA report showed the average HSA balance for those who invested it was $19,253 versus $4,488 for non-investors. Triple tax advantage, deductible going in, tax-free growth, tax-free out for medical. Most people get this wrong because tax planning sounds boring or complicated. The wealthy treat the tax code as a manual, not a mystery. Spending one Saturday a year reading IRS publication 590 could be worth six figures over your lifetime. Habit 8 is the simplest and most overlooked. The wealthy track net worth obsessively. Thomas Stanley's research, updated by his daughter in The Next Millionaire Next Door in 2024, found that 84% of self-made millionaires reviewed their net worth at least monthly. Among non-millionaires earning the same income, that figure dropped to 19%. Why does tracking work? Because what gets measured gets managed. A 2024 study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found people who tracked net worth monthly saved 32% more than peers who didn't, controlling for income. The act of writing the number down forces honest accounting of every silent leak: subscriptions, fees, bad debt. The mechanics are stupidly simple. Use a free spreadsheet or an app like Empower or Monarch. List every asset: checking, savings, brokerage, 401k, home equity if you own. List every liability: mortgage, credit cards, student loans, car. Subtract. That number is your scoreboard. Update it the first of every month. That's it. Here's a personal example from a Boggleheads Forum case study with 18 years of data. A software engineer started tracking in 2007 with a net worth of negative $34,000 due to student loans. By tracking monthly and adjusting habits, he hit $1 million in 2023, age 41. He didn't do anything exotic. He just measured. Most people avoid tracking because the number scares them. The wealthy embrace the number because it's the only thing that makes the path visible. $1 million isn't a goal, it's a series of monthly check-ins that go up. CTA, 30 seconds. If even one of these habits made you rethink a single financial decision, hit subscribe. WealthLogic publishes 2 videos a week pulling apart real data on how ordinary earners build extraordinary wealth. No hype, no gimmicks. We're 13 subscribers in, building toward a community that takes money seriously. The next video drops in 72 hours, breaking down the exact portfolio allocation millionaires under 40 are using right now. Don't miss it. Subscribe and turn on the bell. Outro, 30-45 seconds. Here's your challenge. Today, before you close this app, do one thing. Open your 401k portal and increase your contribution by exactly 1%. Not 5%, not 10%. Just 1%. You won't feel it on payday, but on a $70,000 salary at 10% returns over 30 years, that single 1% bump is worth $123,000 at retirement. Compound interest is the most powerful force in personal finance, and it doesn't care how much you start with. It only cares when you start. The quiet millionaire isn't smarter than you. They just started one Tuesday afternoon and never stopped. Your Tuesday is today. Make the move. 8 quiet wealth habits high earners use to build $1 million faster, backed by real Fidelity, Vanguard, and IRS data. This personal finance breakdown reveals the index fund investing strategies, 401k match maximization tactics, tax optimization tricks, and net worth tracking habits that separate self-made millionaires from average earners. Learn why 79% of millionaires built their wealth from scratch, how lifestyle creep silently destroys 6-figure incomes, and the exact savings rate behind 7-figure portfolios. Whether you're chasing financial freedom, building passive income, or just want smarter investing tips, these wealth-building habits work for any salary. No crypto hype, no get-rich-quick promises, just compounding math and proven behaviors. Subscribe to WealthLogic for 2 data-driven videos a week on investing, money habits, and the path to financial independence. Take one action today and let compound interest do the rest. Your future net worth starts with the next decision you make.